Hi all, Marcus is back in the house and you're watching Presto English. Thanks for all your support, and I know it's been a few weeks since we uploaded new content. The truth is, there are a lot of students who joined our online 7-day Celpip training session, and we've been quite busy getting them ready for the test. When you study for Celpip at home, is it easy to spot the mistakes that you made in your writing or speaking responses? If it's difficult, don't you think it'll be hard to improve on your own? We created this online training for you. We give you feedback on your answers so you will know what your mistakes are and how to fix them. You won't be guessing anymore why your score isn't good enough. So sign up for our online training session now. A lot of you are busy people with work or family, but since this is online, you can pick your own time and you get to practice all sections. FYI, we also have IELTS training too. Feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. Since I've been helping a lot of students prepare for their test, I noticed these common mistakes that students make in their speaking test, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. I want you to be better prepared for your test and get the level that you need for your immigration application or maybe for something else. Here are the 10 most common mistakes people make in the speaking test. 1. Ignoring the register. You need to know the difference between formal and informal expressions. Then, make sure you read the questions carefully. You have to know who you're talking to. Is it your boss, a customer, a stranger, or maybe a friend or family member? Depending on who you're talking to, you will use different expressions. For example, to your client, you could say, "Hi, Mr. Spector, I'd like to apologize for the misunderstanding." But to a friend, we won't use that kind of language. We can simply say, "Hey Harvey, sorry about yesterday." For you guys who recognize the name, that's right, I've been watching Suits on Netflix and now I can't stop. Anyway, make sure you read the questions and know what register you need to use. 2. Phone call or direct conversation. I just said read the questions carefully. In Celpip speaking, some responses will be delivered as if you're talking to the person on the phone, while other questions are posed as a face-to-face conversation. Or maybe you're just asked to express your opinion. You're not talking to anybody. The way you start or end the conversation may be different based on which situation you're dealing with. In a phone conversation, you may say, "Oh, hey Jeff, I'm just calling you to talk about our meeting." On the other hand, if it's a face-to-face conversation, we can say, "Oh, it's so nice to see you again," which is not something we're going to say on the phone. 3. Overconfidence that results in a lack of preparation. Some people have taken the IELTS or TOEFL test before and maybe they got a good score in their speaking or listening. Then, when they study for Celpip, they just focus on the other sections, writing or reading. Well, if you've never taken the Celpip test, please make sure you know the types of questions that you will encounter in the test. They all test your English skills, but they're not identical. The speaking questions are quite different from IELTS, and many people are surprised by the significant difference between the two. Practice with the mock tests, watch our Celpip videos, even better, sign up for our 7-day online training. 4. Not paraphrasing. This should be clear. They want to see your language skills. One way to assess that in English is to look at your paraphrasing abilities, stating something in your own words. Avoid copying words directly from the questions. If you can find ways to paraphrase the statement, you're a step closer to getting the score you wish for. Here's an example. The question says, describe a time when you had to learn something new. Someone might answer, "I will tell you a time when I learned graphics design." Well, a better way to start is saying, "A few years ago, I was given this opportunity by my manager to go back to school and take a graphics design course." As you can see, they may be referring to the same thing, but the second one doesn't just copy the words from the question. When you join our 7-day online Celpip training, I will give you a suggestion to improve your opening or closing if I catch you copying the words from the questions. I'll provide the link to register in the description. The session only costs a fraction of the test fee because I want it to be affordable and help as many people as I can. If you go to our Facebook page, you can see some reviews from those who've joined our training session. Number 5, too short or too long. This can be easy to overlook. Earlier, I said you should familiarize yourself with the questions. In Celpip, there are 8 different speaking questions. Most of them give you 60 seconds to speak, but there are 2 sections that require you to speak for 90 seconds, giving advice and expressing opinions. I don't want you to panic when you suddenly realize you have to speak 30 seconds longer than what you're prepared to do. The opposite also happens often. Students have a lot of things to say, but the computer, unfortunately, isn't going to wait for them to finish. That means you need to practice with a timer at home. And before we get to the next 5, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also share this video to other people who are preparing for the test. 6. Using wrong tenses. This may be simple and straightforward, but when we're on the test, we may be under pressure and we make mistakes we don't normally make. When you describe something, make it clear that you're talking about the past or the present or the future by using the correct tenses. For instance, when you're talking about your experience, we may use past tense predominantly, but when we make predictions, we probably will choose future tense. 7. Missing part of the question. In some tasks, the topic usually comes with 2 or 3 questions. It will be a mistake to leave out 1 or 2 of them. Discuss everything they ask you and support your statements with explanation or examples. Here's a sample question from task 2. Talk about a time when you made a mistake. Maybe you can talk about a mistake you made as a kid, a mistake at home or at work. What did you do? How did you feel? What did you learn from it? As you can see, this task gives you 3 questions. What did you do? How did you feel? What did you learn from it? And you will give the examiner the answers to all those questions. Or in task 5, you're asked to compare and persuade. If you only make comparisons, that's not enough. And if you only persuade someone else, that's insufficient too. You need both. Number 8, misunderstood the question. This can come in 2 different forms. 1, you misunderstand the instruction, and 2, you misunderstand the question itself. In task 1, you're asked to give advice. Then make sure you give advice in your response. Don't just tell a story about your previous experience or what you did when you were in that situation. That's only part of the answer. You need to phrase your answer to show that you're giving advice to the person. Or in task 5, comparing and persuading, some people misunderstand the instruction. Read the instruction carefully and know what you need to compare. 9. Overthinking or trying too hard. I think this is a classic problem. Students are trying too hard to impress the examiner. I tell my students, instead of trying too hard in the exam, they should study hard before the exam. What I often see is they try too hard and they end up with something that doesn't make sense or ridiculous because they're trying to do something beyond their ability. You make more mistakes and that will hurt your score. Sometimes you've learned this new word that you want to use in the exam, but you don't remember precisely what that means, but you use it in the test anyway. Chances are you may make mistakes and that's not going to help you. This also applies to the ideas you use. You need to pick ideas that are realistic. I say realistic. It doesn't have to be unique. 10. Speaking too fast or too slow. Watch your pace when you speak. Some people speak too fast and some people don't speak fast enough. But what is the right pace? Well, when you practice with the listening questions, you hear conversations, right? You can try to match their pace when they speak. But if you're a slow speaker, you can slow down a bit, let's say around 10% slower. Conversely, if you're a fast talker, maybe you can match the speed of the conversation in the listening section. When you slow down, you may be able to speak with higher accuracy, and that's bound to improve your score. Record your voice when you practice so that you can listen to your own answer. If you're still unsure, the easy way is to join our Celpip training, and I will be the one to give you the feedback you need. So those are the 10 most common errors I see among people who prepare for the Celpip test. Let us know what you learned after watching this video. And I hope that everyone who watches our videos don't make this kind of mistake anymore. Maybe you can even tell other people that you don't make those mistakes anymore because you learned from Presto English. Before I end this video, let me say to you one more time, if you have a test coming up, you don't have any idea about how you're going to study, please do yourself a favor, join our Celpip training. It's intensive, it's flexible, more importantly, for a lot of you, it's affordable. It gets you ready for the Celpip exam. Hit like and subscribe. You're also welcome to share this video and let me know in the comments other mistakes that you often make when you're doing your speaking practice. Bye for now.